Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're out at the garage and I have 5 grinds to teach you, and these are 5 grinds that open the door for all sorts of other tricks. So to put it simply, these are 5 tricks that every skater should learn, and should learn relatively early on in their skating progression. Anyway, check it out. I think you guys are gonna like this one today. All right, now these tricks are in no particular order, but the first one that we're going to start with is a Kindgrind. Now this is an alley-oop topside grind, so I know it's a little bit advanced for some people, but really it's a very similar variation to just a regular front royale, and that's actually the approach you're gonna wanna start. But the beauty of learning a Kindgrind and learning it well is that's going to unlock the door for all sorts of other tricks, including other alley-oop topside grinds and other spin variations. So something I would recommend to everybody out there is definitely get your Kindgrinds down, and then once you do, you can migrate into some increasingly sophisticated and advanced footwork. Let's get some Kindgrinds. So as you can see, once you're comfortable in the Kindgrind, you can switch up to other variations like alley-oop top horn, alley-oop top soul, alley-oop top acid, even the alley-oop fish brain. And that's one of the beauties that I think of learning Kindgrind is, again, it's that transitionary trick. All right, we're gonna shift gears a little bit and take it to the quarter pipe. And this is another trick that's going to be very beneficial to learn on quarters, especially for those that are just learning top sides and alley-oops. This one is going to force you to stay ramp side, and that's something a lot of people struggle with. So once you get a solid Kindgrind down on a quarter pipe, that's when you're gonna get those other variations, and it's gonna make skating quarter pipes a lot more natural for you. So we'll see what we can do over here on the transition. All right, trick number 2 that everyone should learn is a backside unity. Now I know some people out there prefer the front side variation, and that's fine, but really the unity stance is something that everyone's going to need, because that cross-legged stance opens the door for all sorts of other tricks, whether we're talking Savannah variations, or spins in or out, or even potentially switch-ups. So I like the backside unity. I feel like that one is the safest option, and really the approach is identical to how you would do an acid grind with just a slight twist of that back foot. Let me show you what I mean. So unities are another one of those tricks that I would recommend learning on quarter pipes. Unlike traditional obstacles where you have to jump into the trick, a quarter pipes with its transition is going to put you right above the coping, and that makes it a lot easier to unlock some of those spin variations into different types of unities. You have like the 270 Savannah variation, the true spin variation, which some people just call back Savannah. The point is, there's a lot of potential here, and so if you can get them down on regular obstacles, but also on quarter pipes, again, that's going to vastly increase all the territory that's available to you when it comes to these cross-legged grinds. See, in that 270 wraparound backside unity variation, whatever you want to call it, that's actually one of my favorite quarter pipe tricks, and really, it wouldn't be doable unless you first master the backside unity, and then put the spin in there. All right, for trick number 3, we're gonna approach it fakie, and this is an Inspin Soul grind. Out of all the different fakie spins, I think this is the easiest one for most people, and like some of the other tricks on this list, this one is going to unlock a lot of doors with other variations. Now, in order to do this, you need to be comfortable rolling up to a grind fakie. If you're not able to look over a shoulder, that's gonna be step number 1. But once you do, all you gotta do is a little twist over that shoulder, find your spot, and then it's really no different than doing a regular variation, whether it's a soul or an in-spin porn star, an in-spin Mizu, in-spin acid, or even a topside variation. So we're gonna approach this one slow at first, and we'll build our way up into it. And then you can progressively up the ante with bigger and bigger spins. Now, I'm gonna be honest, but rolling up a transition fakie and doing an in-spin grind on a quarter pipe is very difficult for a lot of people out there. It just feels unnatural. But if you can suffer your way through it and master that technique, well, there's gonna be a lot more grinds that are now accessible to you. And that's one of my favorite things to do is fakie spin grinds, especially on quarter pipes. That's what we're gonna try next. That's what I'm talking about. I really enjoy the full true topsoul, and it feels especially gratifying when you can lock in topside on a quarter pipe like this. And that trick wouldn't be possible without first mastering the in-spin variation, because really it's just a continuation of that spin. Trick number 4 is admittedly a difficult one for people, but that's backslide. Now there's a lot of variations of backslides. You can do front side backslides, you can do backside backslides, and it's a trick that looks very attractive in its own right. Now when you're first learning these, I would recommend having the Royale grind down, and then you can just put one foot up. You can roll it freestyle, that's fine at first, and then gradually get the grab in there until you feel confident. And if you're able to get a good grab backslide, it just feels so gratifying and it looks great. But the other thing that's great about backslides is there are so many switch ups where you can pivot out of that backslide position, and also other tricks that are entirely dependent upon that backslide foot. Tricks like a soyelle or a true spin top soyelle. Those are tricks that I think look great, and one that makes it a lot easier if you have your backslides under control. All right, this brings us to trick number 5, and this is our final trick of the day. This one is 270 back Royale, or for those of you that are more comfortable with it, you could do the 270 back Farve. But getting a spin trick under your belt is one of those monumental tricks in skating progression. This is probably the easiest 270 variation. And then just like other tricks we've talked about, it does elevate and provide a staircase to other variations like 360 topsoul, or perhaps even 360 Mizu, which are generally two of the easier 360 variations. But in order to get those down, you first have to learn 270s, and this is a great starting point. Now, if you've ever struggled with the 270 variations, here's a pro tip that I've found beneficial over the years. But if you're able to do alley-oop tricks like alley-oop soul, or better yet, alley-oop Mizu, it's basically the same approach. You're gonna wanna carve in almost at a 90-degree angle, and when you jump, try to jump over the rail or the box or whatever obstacle it is you're skating, and that's gonna put your body right above it. It's gonna be a lot easier to lock in that way. Now, once again, this is going to feel very different on a quarter pipe than it does on a traditional obstacle like a rail or a ledge. For this one, the key is going to be a parallel angle, to ride almost completely parallel to the coping and to pop forward a little bit so that you're more into the transition side. Otherwise, you're probably gonna get wheel bite on your back wheels on the top of the platform. So let me show you what I mean on this one, but like I said, the spin tricks on quarter pipes are inherently easier once you figure out body positioning, because the ramp will do most of the work for you instead of having to jump off flat ground. Well guys, there you have it. 5 tricks every skater should learn, and like I was saying earlier, each one of these tricks has natural progression points to further advance your skating, and that's why I think these are ones that everyone should learn. And if you haven't, maybe give them a try. But anyway, it was a great session out here, relatively relaxed, but still challenging. And I think that's the key to a good session too, is you want to progress, but you also want to build the foundation, build those fundamentals so that they can carry over to bigger and better tricks in the future. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some blading. We'll see y'all with the next one. Peace everybody.